What's up, snappers? Welcome back to the channel. DDDREWSKY here. Today we're gonna be looking at the brand new card, Firehair, to see if she's worth their precious resources. We're gonna be looking at key Synergies Counters and some decks that I brewed for her. But wait, before we do that, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel. I do weekly reviews of the brand new card in Marvel Snap, so if you don't want to miss out, hit that notification bell right now. Now let's get back into it. Now the question is, who is Firehair? Let's take a look. So Firehair in Marvel Snap is a 2-cost, 3-powered card with the ability of when one of your cards is destroyed, this uses that card's on reveal. So I believe the card has a crazy combo potential. Doing multiple on reveals again is insane, especially potentially with Mill, right? So Fire has a lot of crazy combo potential, a lot of destroying. A lot of people love destroy. So she's definitely a card for you if you love destroy. But she is flexible and she has a lot of potential in Marvel Snap. So now let's break down to see if Firehair is worth a snap or skip. Let's take a look at her pros and cons about the card. So the first pro that I want to talk about is that she can repeat multiple on reveals, which is insane, right? From seeing the video from the developers, her repeating multiple on reveals at a single turn is crazy. We thought that originally it's just only one card, but she can repeat multiple cards if they're destroyed in one lane. Repeating all those on reveals is insane. So she's also pretty flexible. You will see in the decks that I brewed and some archetypes I will mention that she can fit in a lot of different shells. So it's a great card if you like flexibility. So she has massive combo potential. She has a lot of different synergies and different decks that she could fit in, and repeating those on reveals, there's a crazy amount of potential in just breaking havoc on your opponent. So now let's talk about the cons about her. She's very low on power. 3 power is very low for a 2-cost card. So if anything, you're not really using her for her power, you're really using her for her ability to repeat on reveals. So another big con about her is that she has a handful of counters. There are a lot of cards that I will mention in the video that can counter her. So if she gets out of control, then there's things that will keep her in check. So she's dependent on draw and combos. There are situations where you want to trigger off a certain on reveal effect multiple times, and it really depends on how you draw like those cards in your hand, right? If you want to throw down like an on reveal and then repeat it again and make sure you destroy it, it's very combo heavy, right? You have to make sure stars are aligned. So again, just be warned for that. Now let's take a look at some of the synergies and counters for Firehair. So the first synergy that I want to talk about is Carnage. Of course, Carnage destroy cards in a lane. You want to make sure you throw down as much on reveal cards in that lane that you're okay with destroying, and use Carnage with Firehair. Of course, Venom is a great synergy with Firehair. Absorbing all that power in that lane and then re-triggering those effects with Firehair is insane. So Misery is a great synergy with Firehair, re-triggering those on reveals on her lane, and then Firehair will do it on her lane or potentially in the same lane, but more than likely you want to separate them and then re-trigger those on reveal effects. So now let's talk about the counters. Red Guardian is a great counter against Firehair. Firehair is a static or passive text, so Red Guardian will eliminate that ability. Armor is a great counter against Firehair. Again, Firehair loves destroy, so if you potentially ruin their lane with armor, you'll eliminate that destroying ability. Cosmo is a great counter to Firehair, making sure you Cosmo a lane that you think that they're going to play their on reveals on. It will eliminate those on reveals, and then Firehair will not be able to re-trigger those effects. Now let's take a look at some of the decks that I brewed. I think they're pretty fun and competitive. Let's take a look. So the first deck that we have is called Firehair Mill. So this is my take on the Mill archetype. Firehair is going to work well with this list. The ideal goal of this list is to eliminate the cards from your opponent's deck, taking those cards from your opponent's deck, and then just utilize that milling aspect of the deck. So for turn 1, you could do the Hood or Yondu. It really depends if you have cards like Killmonger or Misery in your hand. You can eliminate the Hood. Yondu is underrated, especially been changed to a banish card. If you could re-trigger the banish card multiple times, then your opponent will not like you. So for turn 2, you could definitely run Firehair or Cable. Firehair is probably preferred just to start setting up her lane, and then Cable is just to steal your opponent's cards from their deck. Rogue is here to counter your opponent's ongoing cards. Killmonger is to eliminate the Hood or Yondu. You definitely don't want to eliminate the demon, but you definitely eliminate those two cards, or any cards that you eliminate with Killmonger benefits for death. Baron Zemo is just a staple in mill. You definitely want to run Baron Zemo to mill their deck and then grab their cards from their deck. Gladiator is a staple in a mill deck. If you can pull down their card, eliminate it, or if you can't, then you can just Shang-Chi it. Shang-Chi is here to eliminate any cards that get pulled from Gladiator or any cards that they put down. Misery is great in the mill list, especially re-triggering effects like the Hood, Yondu, Cable, Baron Zemo, or even Killmonger. And then the combo potential of Misery with Firehair is going to be insane, especially re-triggering all those effects of those cards, and then Firehair will do the same. Agamotto, the Season Pass card here, is definitely a flex card, but the spells are just insane right now, so definitely take advantage of that. And then Death gets tons of value with this list, especially destroying cards with Gladiator, Killmonger, and even Shang-Chi. Now let's take a look at my second list. So this list is called Firehair Hawk. This is my iteration of a Dark Hawk Ronin style list. Shout out to Tucker. Thank you again for giving me the idea of building out this list. So the ideal goal of this list is to disrupt your opponent, add cards to their hand and their deck, and then reap all the benefits of all that disruption. So for turn 1, Silver Sable, Iceman, Korg, they're definitely great options to start disrupting your opponent. For turn 2, Master Mold, Firehair, or Gorgon are great options, but more than likely you want to set up Firehair. Master Mold is great to just start disrupting your opponent. Gorgon is just a great counter for a lot of the decks that are in the meta right now, especially all the created cards that are happening. Cassandra Nova, you could definitely play on curve. Really depends on who you're playing against. If you're playing against a Arishem or Thanos type of list or Agamotto style list, then you could definitely run Cassandra Nova later in the game. Mystique, you definitely want to save for the later turns, or you could pair her up with Cosmo, but more than likely you want to use Mystique with Darkhawk or Ronin. Misery, again, is a staple with Firehair. If you could re-trigger off any of those smaller cost cards like Silver Sable, Iceman, Korg, Master Mold with Misery, it's going to be insane. And then again, Firehair will repeat all those on-reveal effects that have been destroyed. Darkhawk only gets value really here from Korg, but if you can repeat the Korg multiple times with Misery or Firehair, he should be fine. He should be a massive amount. Ronin gets value from Master Mold, and again, just like Darkhawk, if you can repeat Master Mold's effect multiple times with Misery or Firehair, then Ronin should be very large. All right, now let's take a look at my third and final list. So this list is called Firehair Force. This is my take on the Phoenix Force archetype. So the ideal goal of this list is to juice up cards like Human Torch, Multiple Man, or Nimrod, and then destroy them and then reap all the power that is generated from this list. So ideally, turn 1, you want to use the Nico Destroy spell with Human Torch. And then for turn 2, you can follow up with Human Torch or Multiple Man. It really depends on what you want to destroy. Carnage is really here to destroy either Multiple Man or Human Torch or even Nimrod in the future. So Firehair is a little bit tricky in this list. I'll explain later on how to use her. So for turn 3, you definitely want to run Magic to start extending the game because there are cards like Zola and Null that you want to play. Venom is really here to destroy cards just like I mentioned, Human Torch, Multiple Man, or Nimrod. Shuri is here just to be extra greedy if you wanted to start juicing up cards like Multiple Man, Human Torch, or Nimrod. Phoenix Force is here to revive cards like Human Torch, Multiple Man, or Nimrod. Zola, you definitely want to aim to hit cards like Nimrod, Multiple Man, or Human Torch. It really depends on which cards you've been generating power with. And then for Null, you could definitely run him and then even Zola him if you have a turn 7. So for Firehair in this list, it really depends if you want to re-trigger the effects of like Carnage or Venom on the later turns. So for example, you can run Firehair on a separate lane and then destroy the other cards in a separate lane with Venom or Carnage. And then she should be able to re-trigger the effects of them and then potentially hit Nimrod or any of the other cards again multiple times. So it definitely could have some crazy combo potential right there. Now let's take a look at the spotlights that are featured with Firehair. So Firehair is with Cassandra Nova and Nico Minaru. Firehair is a Series 5 card, Cassandra Nova is a Series 5 card, and Nico Minaru is a Series 5 card. If you do not own any of these cards, this is a must key week for you. Cassandra Nova is a great counter to a lot of the big decks in the meta like Arishem, Thanos, or even Agamotto. So Cassandra Nova, I would say, is a must-have in any collection. Nico Minaru is one of the best one-cost cards even to this day. Her spells are insane, and they haven't been touched since release, so she's definitely safe, and I would say she's definitely a must-have. For the Spotlight variants, I love the Firehair. Alex Horley is a GOAT. I love the style of the Firehair with her fire in her hands is really awesome. Cassandra Nova, I'm not huge into. I think she definitely has better variants that are available in the shop. Nico Minaru, I love the pose. I love the staff. I love the effects that are around her. She's definitely a must-have. So remember, art is subjective. It really depends if you like those Spotlight variants, but again, it's not a must-have, but if you enjoy it, totally go for it. So remember, guys, to have 4 keys in a week, you don't want to regret missing out on a card or a variant that you really want. So definitely have 4 keys before opening. Now let's take a look at the community predictions about Firehair. So Firehair, they said S tier 4 stars, A tier 2.5 stars, C tier 1 star, and F tier 0 stars. So overall, the community is very hyped on Firehair. They love her potential of her ability, re-triggering on reveal effects. I potentially might agree. But yeah, I love the energy and I love the hype that's generated for Firehair. So here's a community comment from June Throne. Thank you again for leaving a response on the community post about Firehair. They said, will be absolutely busted. The obvious home will be Mill, but could be used in many different decks. Just needs Venom or Misery and will be absolutely insane. So I agree 100% on this statement. So just like the deck that I built out for Firehair, Mill is going to be definitely a home. So I totally agree with you there. And then Venom and Misery is a great synergy with Firehair. So I definitely 100% agree with you. So if you want to be featured in the next video, make sure to look out for my community post about the brand new card and leave a review. Let me know your thoughts on the brand new card. Now let's take a look at my star ratings for Firehair. So for competitive, I gave her a 4 stars. I think she has the potential of being really busted, honestly, but I'm a little bit reserved, right? Because there are counters, there are things that can disrupt it. Really depends on your draw too and the combo potential of her. So it really depends if you can pull off the combo, especially with draw. There's a lot of reservations, but again, I would say her potential is insane. So for fun, I gave her a 5 stars. I think her ability of repeating on reveals is really fun for a lot of people. And the decks that she can fit in with, right? Mill, Phoenix Force, those are all primarily fun decks for a lot of people. So I would say fun is great for her. For flexibility, I say 3.5 stars. I know there are a lot of decks that I made that are very different, and she is very flexible in a way, but the core of her, there are a lot of cards that you have to surround her that are very similar. So I would say flexibility 3.5 is fair for her. For future changes, I say 4 stars. Potentially with her being the way that she is, I would say more than likely she could be nerfed, so be careful of that. Her ability, being able to re-trigger multiple cards on one turn, is crazy. So remember that, you know, potentially she could get nerfed, so be careful of your resources. Now let's take a look at my final review of Firehair. Is she worth a snapper skip? Let's take a look. So for pre-Series 3 owners, I gave her a 1 star. You're going to be missing a lot of cards that can work with her. There's a lot of Series 3, 4, 5 cards that work with her. So I would say if you're very low on your CL, definitely don't go for her. For Series 3 owners, I gave her a 3 stars. You're going to be having a lot of cards that can work with her. But again, it really depends if you like this style of play. But more than likely, you should be okay having enough resources to work with her. So for Series 4 and 5 owners, I gave her a 4 stars. I think she is safe to get. There are a lot of synergies and cards that work with her that are 4 and 5. So you should be totally fine with that. So for the archetypes that she works with are Mill, Phoenix Force, Destroy, and Darkhawk. And with that being said, I would say she is definitely worth a snap. Definitely worth the resources. Her combo potential is insane. Her ability is insane. Being able to repeat multiple on reveal effects just like Misery is really cool. I would say she's definitely leaning towards the OP side of things. So if you like that type of ability, if you like milling people, Phoenix Force, Destroy, she has a lot of potential in those archetypes. But definitely err on the side of caution because she potentially can get nerfed. I could definitely see her being nerfed if she gets out of hand. So be careful of your resources. So what are your thoughts on Firehair? Did I miss any synergies? Did I miss any decks that she could work with? Am I completely wrong? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like. Please subscribe to this channel. And I would love for you to be a part of this amazing community here on YouTube. And I'll see you guys on the next Snapper Skip. Happy snapping.